a short time before the explosion.
Wow, Doctor, I am very impressed. This looks remarkably creepy. I will be able to use this for very good effect in covering our tracks.
Thanks. They are all safely on the other side now, and really happy with their more youthful bodies. I know this might look really bad, but they certainly do not mind their old bodies being used to help us not be found for real. Do you think they are good here, considering the big explosion you have planned? I have others placed throughout the rest of the facility as well. We are going to be the last 2 people out of here. We already have almost everything important on the other world now, but there are a couple of key pieces of hardware that we will need to leave behind if we are going to make it out safely ourselves. We cannot have these give away any important information.
I already have planned for that. I have the largest of the explosives, designed to take out that equipment when we are safely on the other side. With the help of Dr. Absquandum, I have set up a way we can trigger the explosion from the new world. We will only trigger that explosion if we have confirmed with certainty that every last person is out safely. Once we do confirm everyone is safe, then we will make sure that only dust remains of the important equipment. After the explosion, there will be no way to salvage anything of use to them. The bodies will probably be damaged beyond recognition, but I have designed the charges to leave behind enough biological material and DNA, so that they will have no trouble verifying that we are absolutely dead. This is the only useful information that they will get. I guarantee they will not get more.
That sounds great. I am very excited to meet up with the others. Let's get out of here.
A little while later.
And in other news, there are incoming reports of a massive explosion in a somewhat sparsely populated area near our southern border. Preliminary reports say that the explosion was so massive that it leveled all of the facility involved in the explosion. Here is Jill with more of the story.
Thank you, Brian. The explosion happened in what appears to have been a research and manufacturing facility that designs and builds hardware and weapons meant for our military. Due to the sensitive military work they had, it is not clear past that what specifically they researched there. According to a military statement made earlier tonight, this is confirmed not to be another attack from the Southern Coalition, but rather an unfortunate accident of some sort. In a tragic irony, the parent company that manages the secret facility specializes in life extension services and is very popular with those who can afford their services. It is not immediately clear if the company will be able to recover from this devastating loss. According to a military spokesman, the entire facility is a complete loss. There are no reports of any survivors.
Yes, that is so sad. They were so good at extending the lives of others, but were unfortunately not able to do it for themselves. Your sports news will follow this short break.
Meanwhile, in the new world, where the team moved to.
Wow, Daddy, you are younger than I think I have ever seen you looking. This is great, and just a bit weird, but really wonderful.
It is great to see you looking so youthful yourself. I always knew that you could help us finish this.
Now that everyone is over, tell me, Dr. Bellum, did you cover our tracks well? Is there anything left that they can use to piece together what really happened to us?
The main offices of our company have been cleared out years ago of all data and information about the project. We have with us all computers and data storage devices that have the most sensitive project information. Additionally, I used some of the military explosives related to projects we had to rig up an explosion that left no trace of anything that would be useful to even the best investigations they have. Additionally, I made sure that our old bodies were protected enough to where they can still confirm through DNA and through other tests that we are truly all dead. There would be no way for them to suspect that we are not.
Okay, now that everyone is here, away from the group, we can now start our leadership meeting. All right, first and most important now is safety from wild animals. This frequency, or dimension as some of you call it, never at any point had any sentient life on it. We did specifically choose this one, so that we would completely avoid the humanoids living on yet another frequency that we found earlier. We will investigate them in time, but for now, We have to learn to live in a world where no species like ours was around to kill out the large animals or cause mass extinctions. The wild animal population is both impressive and deadly. We cannot let all of this money, time, and effort be spoiled by a few dangerous animals. We cannot have any accident or unfortunate incident ruin all of the work that we have done to get here. Animals make a point to do the unexpected. While I know that this has been exclusively their world up until now, they will never be capable of safeguarding this world from threats like the civilization that we just left. We in this group are literally this solar system's best chance at having responsible leadership that can be there to ensure the safety and balance for all. If we play our cards right, we all personally can be here 1, 10, or 100,000 years from now. For the benefit of all, we cannot let animals ever endanger any of our people. There can be no death anymore for us. Dr. Bellum, can you please head up the security planning for the animals? I do not want to hear of even one incident, please.
Yes, of course. We have already sent over the equipment to make us a safe perimeter. I will head up a group that will drive out any large or dangerous animals from anywhere near our new settlement. From there, the electronic fence will keep every living thing from crossing, except for us, of course. We will need assistance identifying and cataloging other animals that might have venom or poison that could be hazardous to us.
Thank you, Dr. Bellum. Dr. Strano-Amore, can you please head up the team to identify and catalog all animal species? It would help to know what is edible or useful in other ways.
I would be happy to. As you know already, we made good use of DNA from a number of different animal species to make our own new DNA far more robust. I would be very interested in seeing the new variety of life that this world has to offer. Additionally, since we do not yet have a lab running that can grow our meat supply, we will need to find our meat rather than grow it to order, as we are all used to. We might have to use older methods of cooking, so we can use all of the animal. It is not like lab meat where you can grow just the parts that we want to eat. With some simple DNA splicing, I am confident that we can domesticate animals to milk, or to use for a meat supply soon.
I know that we all have to sacrifice to build this world. It is now just hitting me that we will not have lab meat. I knew that this was coming, but the reality is starting to set in. I miss the custom-grown meat we always had. How many years do you think it will be until we can make a new lab meat program?
It is not just food that these animals will be used for. They also need to make things like clothing and soap, not to mention some other things that we can extract from them.
Oh, okay. Soap. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
So now that we have those things taken care of, we already have made assignments for the sourcing of other miscellaneous things we will need as a group. Once our immediate needs are taken care of, we need to quickly work on building up a modern infrastructure. There is no telling if any group from our old world we would not want to get caught off guard if they do find a way to follow us. A farming community cannot defend against them. We must get this community built as quickly as we can. Is there anything else that we need to cover before we conclude this meeting?
Yes, just a couple of things. Since literally almost every single person who made the journey is a doctor, maybe we can be somewhat less formal now. What is the purpose of applying a title to each other that literally everyone shares? With the advanced neural hardware and long lives we all have, certainly everyone has, or will have that education.
That is a good point you have.
Second, now that we are a population of only around 500 people, what consequences will this have, in terms of future genetic diversity, as it relates to our way of life?
Well, as you know already, our society has already been largely wiped out of the number and types of races our world once had. There were several times when war brought our world to the brink of the extinction of our species. Between those times and the modern lifestyle that we have had for a great many years, we do not have a diversity of the type that we once had many thousands of years ago. To be perfectly honest, we will have nothing to worry about in the first generation. Past that, to ensure the long-term health of our new society, we will need to do something. We all know the dangers of inbreeding. But if you take just one variety of corn, for example, and there one year happens to be an insect, or a disease that happens to be particularly well suited to attack that one type of corn, then you very well might not have much corn the next year. There are many reasons why we need genetic diversity. Without help, not only will there no longer be such a thing as race anymore in our society, but I fear that it will have other negative effects as well. Probably more severe, and harder to predict than we can now imagine. One thing is for sure. The humanoid population on the other frequency that we found, looks to be similar in appearance to our own species. Since the DNA on this new world, appears to work like it does on the world we come from, I expect that this group of similar humanoids, will likely have DNA, that will be more than useful to our own. From what I know of them so far, they appear to have a very rich genetic diversity, that we can draw on. They have numerous races, and wonderful diversity that will certainly lead to interesting discoveries we can use to improve our own situation. I fear that I do not see any way around the fact that we will inevitably have to explore their world much further. There is too much there that promises to help our current situation.
And with that, our small band of scientists started out building and colonizing their new world. As scientists, they plan very well, and try to prepare for any eventuality. But they did not yet suspect the thing that they would be most unprepared for, time. Looking back on this, we now have a saying. Time is like sand. A little bit and you can just brush it off. With a lot of it, you get compressional asphyxiation, that will crush you and not let up. Stay tuned for the many challenges yet to come.